Hello, I'm Emelia Leussis, and I'm talking to you today about how I have tried to help other students like me with high school. So, the students in question is anyone who has sensory processing disorder or is neurodivergent. Those will be explained in just a second. But as someone who is neurodivergent and has sensory processing disorder, high school is really, really difficult. And so there was a lot of things that I thought that I could give to other students so that they maybe had a little bit of an easier time with it. Oop, there we go. So overview of a couple of things, some general information about sensory processing disorder, neurodiversity, accommodations and stuff. Also, the information sheet, which was the actual thing that I made that I gave to the 8th grade teachers and the responses from that. And then, just the good and the bad. So, reasons. I have autism, ADHD, and sensory processing disorder. Autism and ADHD are two disorders under the neurodivergent umbrella term. And both of them have affected a lot of how I'm able to do stuff in school, as well as, how I was able to receive the advice that I was given. A lot of the advice that I was given was not very helpful or even detrimental. And so giving advice to some people who, are more like me from someone who has gone through similar experiences, that's very helpful for a lot of people. And then also I have spoken to some other students or just people who are around my age who also have sensory processing disorder, who also are neurodiverse, and who have said that this is something that they wish that they had when they started high school. And so that was like, okay, I know I'm doing something right. I picked Miss Satoli as my mentor because she helped me a lot, and thank you, you're great. You also know a lot about what the common struggles of people are, so, you helped me a lot. Sensory processing disorder. Sensory processing disorder is just a disorder that affects the way that the brain is able to make sense of information from your senses. There are 3 different subtypes. Hyposensitive is when there is not enough reaction to the stimulus. They don't squint their eyes or look away at really bright lights. They don't react to really loud noises. Hypersensitive is when they do the opposite. There is more reacting to the stimulus. That's what I have. I have a hard time with sound. That's why I'm wearing the headphones. And then sensory seeking is when instead of ignoring the stimulus or avoiding the stimulus, they seek it out. These kids often look sort of hyper or crazy because they're running around, they're jumping on all sorts of things, they want to touch everything, they want to put everything in their mouth. It's just because they're seeking for a higher baseline of stimulus. Neurodiversity is a little bit different. It is just an umbrella term that encompasses any disorder that changes how your brain functions. The disorders included, and I need to read these off because Lord knows I can't memorize all this. Autism, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, or ADHD, dissociative identity disorder, dyslexia, dyscalculia, dyspraxia, dysgraphia, epilepsy, Merle's-Island syndrome, hyperlexia, Tourette's syndrome, obsessive compulsive disorder, post-traumatic stress disorder, schizophrenia, and synesthesia. This is by no means a comprehensive list, but it is what I could pull from my research. And also the lovely little rainbow infinity symbol in the corner. That is what is widely considered to be the symbol for neurodiversity. Accommodations and issues. A lot of people have some issues with accommodations. They don't know what's available. They don't know who to ask for these accommodations, and they also don't know how to advocate for themselves. That was something that I struggled with a lot when I was coming into high school, especially in the beginning because, COVID and all that stuff, but also because I didn't know anybody. I didn't know what I needed to do. And then also just some general other things that may exacerbate the problem. Feeling like your peers or teachers don't understand. There's a lot of change, and that brings on a lot of stress, as well as can be very overstimulating for a lot of people. Also just generally feeling isolated, partially because people don't understand, or just because maintaining relationships is really difficult when you're in a constant state of panic. So this was the information sheet that I made, the front and the back, for incoming freshmen, and I sent it out to the 8th grade teachers so that they could give it to their students that they thought would benefit from this. It has the general information that I gave you about neurodiversity and sensory processing disorder, as well as my advice for students, my advice for parents, and a couple of little important facts. And then here we have the responses. So I just sent out an email to the 8th grade teachers saying, hey, I have this information sheet. We had Ms. Monahan and Ms. Rooney who responded and said that this looked great. And apparently also they sent it to Ms. Lehman. And she said that it would be really, really nice if they could give it to the 6th and 7th graders as well, which makes me really happy. I'm having a hard time containing all of this right now. So lovely, lovely response from the 8th grade teachers. For the vision of the graduate, I kind of went more, I didn't really know what you guys wanted because you kind of just said, look at the handbook. That's not really helpful. So I went more of kind of the stuff that I tried to do with the information sheet. I'm trying to help people with some of these things, so with advocating for themselves, with accessing the information that they need to understand what kind of issues that they're having, as well as, spreading the information for empathy, for compassion, for treating others with respect and dignity because of their differences. As well as I hope to inspire some people towards a common vision, nobody has to pick this up as a senior project. No one has to do anything. Just if somebody is like, I understand this a little bit more. I understand what I'm feeling, what my friend is feeling, what my student is feeling, whatever, that'll be great. And then my final question that you're all probably thinking, because I have not been talking to you about bugs this entire time, and yet this thing has been covered in them. The official reason, for official purposes, I'm being graded on this, is that I'm autistic, and my special interest is bugs, and so, it fits the theme. The theme is my experiences as a, neurodivergent student. The unofficial theme, everyone grading me, please close your ears, I just wanted to put bugs on here, okay? There's bugs, I wanted the bugs, I like bugs, okay? They're cute, be glad you didn't get real bugs. Because I was contemplating, but I didn't. I saved myself. I figured that would probably not help if anyone has arachnophobia. I love spiders so much. Couple of thank yous to some people. Thank you to Ms. Satoli and Ms. Graham, the two lovely people who work in the bridge room. You guys have helped me so much. Thank you to Ms. Monahan, Ms. Rooney, Ms. Lehman for the lovely responses, as well as expanding the scope of my project more than I ever thought could have been possible. So excited about that. Thank you to my mom and my dad who are over there in the audience. You guys are wonderful people. Thank you for creating me. And also just generally thank you for not killing me in the process. Thank you to Peaches and Vanilla. They are my guinea pigs, and they're pretty much the only thing keeping me sane at this point, that and Noodles. And an audible mention to Squish. I miss you so much. She was my jumping spider. She unfortunately passed, but we love her, and she was keeping me sane too. Does anyone have any questions?